What is up, guys? In today's video we're going to be talking about the newest changes that have happened in Fortnite because there is more hot fixes again today. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what you think of these changes. And the most impactful change is going to be that the damage was doubled for every storm phase in Fortnite Battle Royale. So I'm not sure if this is a temporary or permanent change. We'll get to that in a moment. But for zones 1 through 5, the damage went from 1 damage per second to 2. For zone 6, the damage went from 2 damage to 4 damage. For zone 7, the damage went from 5 damage to 10. So that is like the jump that I feel like is the most significant, is once you get into those later phases, the storm is a lot more lethal. In zone 8, the damage went from 8 damage to 16 damage. And for zones 9 and onward, the damage went from 10 damage a second to 20 damage a second, which obviously sounds insane, but most players aren't really going to ever be experiencing that because most games don't actually go to that point. The wait times on a lot of zones were also adjusted, and this is the thing that I think some players will notice, but again, I don't think it's the biggest deal. So the first zone wait time, so this is the time in between zones, went from 120 seconds to 90 seconds. The second zone wait time went from 90 seconds to 70 seconds. The third zone wait time went from 95 seconds to 70 seconds. The fourth zone wait time went from 90 seconds to 70 seconds. The fifth through seventh zone all went from 50 seconds to 40 seconds. At 8th zone, the wait time in between storms is now 30 seconds instead of 35. And then for zone 9 onward, the wait time went from 20 seconds in between to 15 seconds in between. So this isn't the biggest change like it sounds like a lot, and that time will add up to make some of the matches shorter, but it's not going to make storm like an incredible factor throughout your matches. Like storm is going to be more lethal and you're going to have a little bit less wait time between storm phases. But I feel like the pacing of Fortnite has been rather slow for many years now. In the early days, storm was really a problem because we had very limited mobility and we had very limited heals. But with the Zone 5 heal change, Zone 5, with the Chapter 5 heal changes that made it to where, you get health over time from things like the medkits, then things like the medmest coming in, as well as just the sheer, ridiculous amount of mobility we have now compared to past seasons. Like we have Shockwave Hammer, Shockwaves, cars, Geysers, launch pads, sprinting, all these things didn't really exist in the early days. I feel like despite these changes, storm really isn't going to be a problem for most players in Battle Royale public matches. If you need to go deep into storm to try to reboot a teammate or something like that, then sure, this is going to affect you, but for 99.9% of matches, I feel like it's just going to flow a little bit better, and this isn't going to be drastic changes. Where this would really affect things would be competitive, because in tournaments, playing in storm is a very relevant part of the game, and then obviously you get really into those late game moving zones where it's very small with a lot of people. But these changes actually did not happen in competitive, and in tournaments they did initially, but Fortnite actually undid it. So competitive is as it was previously, and these changes only take effect in public matches. Fortnite has made it seem like these changes are a part of the new Power Rangers stuff going on. So maybe after the Megazord stuff leaves, then the storm will go back to normal. But for now, the storm damage is doubled. Personally, I like this. I kind of wish they did it to an even more degree and made the games even faster. But I know I'm probably a bit extra with that. But I think with the amount of mobility in the game, storm really hasn't been a problem in the game for quite some time. The Megazord update is going to be happening on Thursday. So, like I said, maybe the stuff leaves after the Megazord leaves. The Megazord is supposed to come out on Thursday the 18th, and I believe that update goes until October 3rd. So for about 2 weeks or so. So those were the main changes, was the storm change. Another thing that happened recently is going to be that crash pads were vaulted. This was not really a conscious balance decision from Epic though. There was actually a bug with crash pads that were making it to where people were taking fall damage sometimes when using them. So they removed the crash pads until that bug has been fixed. But for now, there's no crash pads in the game, so you're not going to be getting them from your B-tier drop pods, which makes early game a little awkward, I think, because it was nice being able to get those out of the pods. But another change about this is going to be that the OXR shops now have guaranteed shockwaves. How it was previously was that you could get either shockwaves or crash pads as a mobility item in the shops, but with crash pads being gone, the only shockwaves in there now. So for me, that's actually a good thing because I preferred shockwaves. And if I was going to one of these shops in the mid-game, I definitely was hoping that there would be shocks inside. And if you are someone who really wants to get shocks, visit the nearest OXR shop. And for now, while crash pads are gone, they're guaranteed. Speaking of the drop pods, they actually made these to where they spawn closer to you again. Last Friday, they made them spawn further away, and then now they'll spawn closer again. I don't know if this is exactly as it was prior to the changes on Friday, but certainly closer now than it was on Friday. This season has been all over the place with random changes like that. That is going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of these storm changes. Now I'll see you guys in the next one.